You on live with the big calendar in the back, the Mayan gold calendar.
Hold on, if I
That,
set it up just right, it could be like a halo.
dude, if that was real gold, you would be set for life.
Right, but it's only copper.
Well, then it's not. Well, it's worth something.
I can make some pipe
But
out of it.
I like the background, dude. It's dope.
Thanks.
Awesome, brother. How you been, dude? The coronavirus, dude. Tell me,
Corona.
how has that affected everything with you, dude? Because I know you've been teaching the youth of our country and inspiring them to become better in life, and I know that has been the whole Corona thing. Damn, tell me about it.
No, well, we just kind of rolled with it. We shut down the school.
Mm-hmm.
We hopped on Zoom just like we're doing today.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll catch a kid. He'll be staring off into space, right? I'll be calling his name. I'm like, hey, Lorenzo. And then he'll have his microphone off, but his camera will be on. And it's obvious he's got another piece of technology in this hand because he's staring at it and he's not hearing me. And I'm like, Lorenzo, what are you doing?
Right.
Lorenzo, answer question number 3. And then I'll call his mom on my other technology, like, yo, could you check on Lorenzo? She'll walk in the room, and you'll just see a sandal go flying across the room. And then Lorenzo will pop back into the screen, like, why you rat me out to my mom? Like, bro, you can't be on whatever Minecraft or Facebot or whatever you're on.
Right.
Zoom, TikTok, bot, whatever.
It's everything, man. TikTok, bot. It's all kids are all about it now.
Yeah, no, but it was good. We shut it down, and we kept it going. We finished out the school year, and it looks like we're heading into another school year with another shutdown. It looks like.
Yeah, I just heard the mayor of LA said yesterday that we're on the verge of another shelter-in-place order. So
Garcetti, you know what? That guy's yeah, that guy's a little. It seems like he's a little slow on the draw. People are. I mean, I think. Are we getting political? Because I mean, I'm all about the.
Whoa! We're getting political now.
Are we? Are we going?
That's a sensitive subject, man, for many.
For many. I thought you were gonna say for men. I was like, for many, yes, and for men.
Yes, for many and for men.
But
so what have you been doing, dude? Just chilling, just quarantining home.
Well, I'm lucky, man. I hit this quarantine hard. I went into the quarantine with a girlfriend, so I've been lucky in that regard. That
nice.
I got to quarantine with somebody. You know.
Okay, that's good.
I feel sorry for these single mother effers.
Damn, I know, man. They can't dance. They can't go to a bar.
Dude,
they can't do anything.
Dude, dating on Corona must be rough.
It's got to be rough. Imagine. Oh my God. Even if you go ahead.
I'll go to the beach, right?
Uh-huh.
We'll play a game. My girlfriend and I will play a game. We'll be like first date, and there'll be somebody walking down the promenade with,
Right.
I'll be like, first date? And she'll be like, yeah. And then they'll sit there for a second. I'm like, what do you think his chances are? And, and you'll see like the sun's coming down, and he's inching towards her. You're cold, baby, right? And we're watching this because this is our entertainment at this point. It's like there's no movies, there's no salsa, there's no concerts. So we have to entertain ourselves by playing Who's Gonna Get Lucky Tonight? You know what I mean?
Oh my God. That's got to be so hard. And then even if you're single and you're going up to a girl, like how? You see her at a grocery store? What do you say to a girl at a grocery store that you think is attractive? Hey, I was just noticing you got a really nice smile.
Yeah. Hey, are you gonna?
How can you tell I have a nice smile? I got a fucking mask on.
Are you gonna get that last sanitizer right there? Are you gonna get that last? Because I believe in chivalry. I will give up that last bottle of sanitizer.
Crazy, man. Crazy times, man. So
what
it's been 5 months now? 5 months. So hopefully it gets better. Seems like it's getting a little worse. Hopefully it gets better before and hopefully we start to see the light at the end of the tunnel in the next few months. Hopefully.
Yo,
Yeah.
my pops is 91 now.
Nice, dude. Congrats to Pops, bro.
Yeah, dude. Pops is 91, and we skipped his birthday. We did a quarantine style birthday where we did the
Cool.
social distancing. I was gonna hire Sandy to come down and play some jazz.
Cool.
You know, and we were gonna do a little thing for my dad.
Yeah.
His birthday was in March, so Sandy was like ixnay on the social D.
Right.
And so we shut that down. So I just hired a piano player, went down there with the trumpet, and I have a drum set. So I took the drum set and the piano player and we just kind of jammed out a little bit, a little reggae.
Cool. Nice.
A little jazz, and then, you know, we celebrated just me, my friend on piano, and we recorded a little bit of it, and the trumpet and the drum set, and my mom and my dad in the driveway, and we're all the way across, you know, in the cul-de-sac.
Cool.
It was cool, though. It was cool.
That's cool, man. And your dad's pretty healthy, 91, keeping him quarantined from all the craziness.
Dude, I was at a memorial service yesterday for my principal. She lost her battle to breast cancer. She had a double mastectomy, and then she had gone to 2 or 3 rounds of chemo. And then we thought everything was cool. A month ago, we get an email, hop onto Zoom at 9 o'clock at night. All these teachers were Zooming, and they're like, last minute retirement. She pulled the plug, and she's home. She's home, and they didn't give us very many details. A week goes by, and they're like, she's on hospice.
Oh.
Then the very next day, they were like, she lost her battle to cancer. The woman was 58. My dad is 91. How does somebody like my father, who smokes like a chimney, like 2 or 3 cigars a day, he has like a stiff drink. He's got like a buzz by usually by 2. He's got that buzz rocking, and he's 91. How in God's name is he still alive? But this woman who was seemingly healthy and happy at 58, it's just crazy, man.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. What about you, man? How's your family?
Everything is good. Family's good, man. Just Corona, trying to adjust to the madness in Corona. I thankfully I still have a job. I'm able to go to work. My work has gotten busier.
Wow.
So, but my heart goes out to all the people that are struggling, man. Everyone that the service industry, it's been hit. I mean, like so many of our friends that are in the music business, and whether you're a musician, promoter, or in a band or a DJ, it's just wow. My heart goes out to them, man. They're getting hit. It's tough.
It's rough times, man. And we thought we were opening back up, and then
closing back down. Seems that way.
Yeah, at least California, we're playing safe.
Yeah, dude. But hey, you're also a fucking musician, brother. Aside from being a teacher and teaching our youth of the world, you are a musician. You are a fucking trumpet player guru, is what I like to call you.
Oh, you're so nice, man.
Dude, I mean,
I would have warmed up if I had known you were going to call me out. I would have warmed up my chops and blow something for you, but
it's all good, baby. I heard you play. I know you're dope. Dude, I want to know your story. How did you get into playing the trumpet? Where did that come from? Did that come from high school or
So I've got this brother that lives in Texas, Waco, Texas, of all places now.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, rough. But he went away to Baylor University and left his trumpet.
Yeah.
I was like, here you go. It's all yours now. And he was like, I'm going to go study to be, he's a principal. We have pretty much everybody in my family. We're all in education. So cool. But he left me the trumpet, and that was it. Went to junior high school, played trumpet, went to college, played trumpet, the whole thing, man. That's just always been my thing is trumpet.
Damn. Dope. Since fucking high school, dude. Okay,
before
cool,
middle school,
before junior high?
Yeah, maybe the 4th grade. I remember my trumpet.
Really? 4th grade? Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, he's 10 years older than me, and he went off to college. He was right out of high school, so he would have been 18. So I would have been 8. So I would have been 3rd, 4th grade. He handed me the trumpet. I remember before he went off to college, he showed me a few of the songs because he was graduating from San Pedro High School.
Yeah.
And then he showed me like the fight song, like whatever. But he showed me a little bit, you know, and I remember I was like fascinated by it, and then I took it and just did it.
Damn, dude.
Since I was 9.
Since you were 9. Wow.
I'm about to be 44, bro. So that's
Woo!
35 years of blowing, bro.
That sounds so bad. If this was 1982, everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, cocaine."
You know?
Yeah, dude.
And the trumpet's a crazy instrument because if you think about it, it's just a piece of plumbing.
I never really thought of it that way.
You know,
yeah.
And you're trying to get sound,
right,
and music out of a piece of plumbing. Like music instruments themselves are so fascinating. Like a guitar. What is a guitar? It's a string that's been stretched out, and then they've carved all of these frets into a piece of wood that's attached to a body that resonates. What is a drum? It's a hollowed out tree or a box with a skin on it. You know, like instruments are so fascinating. Dude,
that's true. I never really thought of it that way. Yeah. Wow. Damn.
You know, like what are some of the other ones? What is a clarinet? What is a saxophone? It's just like
plumbing.
Yeah, and the engineering that goes behind these instruments now. You know, the first synthesizer I think was called a theremin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they're still being played, but now they've evolved. You know, and so you can pretty much do anything at this point with the synthesizer, with technology.
With you can do any sound now. It's incredible what you can do now, dude. It's crazy.
And that's a whole controversy because people are like, "Oh man, we got to keep it rootsy," you know, like all these purists. They want the real acoustic instruments, but dude, there's some great stuff coming out of these one-man band studios, you know.
Incredible stuff, dude. So you played the trumpet most of your life, dude. So how did you get into the whole salsa scene? How did you get into that area?
Right.
Because you were playing trumpet, and suddenly I meet you in the fucking salsa scene playing the trumpet years ago. I don't know, this was like 20 years ago or something like that. But how'd you get into it?
Right.
So, it had to be a girl. A girl brought you into it.
No, actually, weirdly enough, right? So I grew up. Right. No, so I grew up confused, right? Like you look at me and like, standard white boy, pretty much standard issue, San Pedro, Southern California, born and raised, right? So, but I was confused because I grew up speaking Spanish, and how did that happen? My mom, she claims to be Irish. She's like 5th generation. She claims, dude. I'm like, that's some BS because she's like 5th generation Highland Park. So I'm like, really Irish? Come on, man. What's there left of Irish the culture that you claim after 5 generations of Highland Park? Really?
Right.
So she, even though she is white and supposedly Irish, she loves Spanish speaking culture. So she put me in a school. I was the only white kid in this school. And back then, bilingual education, like now there's all this controversy around bilingual education as well. You know, like for a while there, schools needed a waiver. They needed a certain amount of parents at the same grade level to sign a waiver to the principal saying, we want our kids to learn Spanish as a core part of the curriculum. Back then it was already built into the curriculum. And I think they're slowly getting back to that. But at that point, bilingual education was big. And my mom was a bilingual educator. We used to have CUBA and NABE, which stands for California Association of Bilingual Educators, National Association of Bilingual Educators. They used to come to my house for posadas.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right.
I don't know the words to this song. You know that song that they sing?
Right, yeah. Right.
So they would come to my mom's house, and then we would go to the next house, and then we would go from posada, like, you know, they would eat at my house, and then they go to the next house. We'd eat. And
Champurrado and all that.
All these bilingual educators, and what happened? It was at some point I learned Spanish. I still didn't enjoy speaking Spanish or having to study Spanish. It wasn't until, like you said, I met a girl. But even before I met the girl, right?
Yeah.
I was at home, and my mom used to listen to Caleb.
Okay.
Do
Yeah.
they still have Noches
Caleb.
Bailables on Caleb?
I don't know, but my parents.
Sábados Bailables, I think.
Yeah, I think Sábados Bailables. Yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
I would be listening to that because she would just be like Caleb all day, all night.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I heard this wailing trumpet, right? Just like, Noches Bailables, salsa, right?
Yeah.
And then it hit me. I was like, oh, that's where it's at, right? Like,
Yeah. I was like, what is that? Right.
So she also had a Cal Jader album. So Cal Jader, I think he used to be teamed up with Poncho Sanchez.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they had Mongos. They had some good players on that album, Cal Jader's albums, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And I think there was a saxophone player on there. I don't think he used trumpet that much, but he did. He had some horns. And I just remember hearing at some point, I was like, the way the percussion locked with the piano and the bass, and then whatever was happening on top of that, whether it was horns or the vibes from Cal Jader, and then the Noches Bailables, all the singers and all of that stuff. At some point, I was like, oh man, I got to get my trumpet on top of that, because all of that rhythm and that piano, that driving montuno piano, salsa piano, is just like, I got to get my trumpet on top of that, right?
Wow.
So
Wow.
I had already learned Spanish. I just remember I went up to Sandy. And we were in Cal State Long Beach, and Asdrubal was there at that point. Astro from Sachi or whatever, CH or whatever.
Right.
So I remember I crossed paths with Sandy, and so I run up to Sandy, little white boy Sammy trumpet player, was like, "Hey Sandy, do you know how to play salsa?" And at this point, I forget who she had studied with, Bobby Rodriguez or somebody from LA. Anyway, she knew a little bit about salsa. She wasn't hardcore. She hadn't worked with Ricardo Lembo yet. She hadn't worked with anybody. Who has Sandy worked with? Salsa Caliente, Divas del Swing, or whoever she's worked with, right? She hadn't done any of that yet.
Right.
And so, and her boyfriend at the time played piano. We just kind of like shopped around campus. Dude, we had some terrible musicians in that band. But at some point we got Palito. Do you remember Palito?
Oh, yes. Yes.
And so Palito is like this old Cuban guy that would just scream at Jesse. He would just scream at Jesse. And I just remember we would be in the middle of practice, and we'd be practicing, "Se acabó ya la mañana, ya no puedo comer," right? And then Palito would take a first solo. He would be like singing. He would do his improvisation. And then he would look at Jesse. He'd be like, "All right, your turn." So we give him the colo, la malanga, and Jesse, he'll sing something, right? But he's learning at this point. It was before Jesse admit stop.
Right. It was. He was still learning the beginning. Yeah, I remember that.
Salsa Caliente. What was the leader's name?
Al Gonzalez.
Yeah. So Jesse hadn't met Al yet. So I met Jesse through Ish.
Okay. I
saw Ish dancing at Tapas. I was like, bro, you're amazing.
Right.
And so I went up to him and I was like, "Yo, you're a great dancer." And when I got this band, do you know any musicians? He's like, "Actually, I know a singer." And so he introduced me to Jesse, and I think that's how I met you. And so that's kind of how I got into salsa. I just went up to Sandy. I had listened to Noches Bailables, Cal Jader. I fell in love with the music. I was like, I got to do this. So then I got with Sandy. We started trying out musicians. And I remember Jesse would just get his ass handed to him because we'd be in the middle of that song, like, "Indestructible," and then we'd look at Jesse, and Palito would be like, his catchphrase, if you ever ask Jesse what Palito would scream at him, he would say, "Abre la boca, Jesse!" You know? And what he was trying to get him to do was just be more passionate about it. Like, just put his heart into it.
Right.
And I think at that point, Jesse was more of an R&B singer.
He was. That's right. He was
a strong singer. He just needed to learn the language, you know? And Palito had a hard time communicating that effectively, so he would just scream at him, "Abre la boca, Jesse!" It was great.
Whatever happened to Palito?
Dude, I hope he's okay, man. That guy was going through some rough times, man.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
still here. He lives in LA or moved or.
we lost touch with him, man.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of it. And then I started poking around campus.
Mhm.
Asdrubal, we had the band, and we got to work with him. He promoted us for a little bit, and got to work at some of his clubs. And and at some point, I just started poking around campus, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in studying Cuban, Puerto Rican music.
Right.
What are my opportunities for study abroad? And it was like a toss-up. There were all these programs in San Juan for music. You know, there was opportunities to go there study Spanish and music.
Right.
But the lady I was talking to was like, we also have this program in Havana for 4 months. And I was like, oh, Havana or San Juan?
San Juan.
And so I actually chose Havana, actually.
Nice. And what year was this? Was a while ago. Was 2000 sometime?
2003. That was when I first started getting into salsa, and I remember it was my main decision to go to Havana over San Juan was that, you know, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Go to Havana as a you know, somebody that has to abide by the embargo. If people choose to abide by the embargo, then it's tricky for us to go to Havana. So
there's school programs. There's an umbrella.
So that's why I was like, you know what? If I could go to my education, then I'm gonna do that, because I could always go to San Juan. It's easy to go to San Juan. You just buy the ticket and go.
Right.
But for Havana,
that's tricky. Yeah.
You know, we've talked about this a lot. You know?
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to go only because of my work, and I went to go do research on organic farms in Cuba, which there's tons of them.
I love that story about the guy in Texas that was like, you know, it's illegal to go to Cuba. Yeah. And I like the way you just kind of leaned in closer to him, and you're like, are you new?
Yeah.
Dude, that's classic, man.
I was like, the guy was being a douchebag, man. Come on. You know? He asked me for research. Man, I had a book of research from Cuban farms.
Dude,
yeah, so it's like
prepared for that, bro.
Yeah. So, but dude, so how was it when you went through the school to your first Cuba trip? How was that, dude? That must have been amazing.
Yeah.
Just to learn about the music and the culture.
Yeah, 4 months, dude. I got to actually I was walking around Havana by the university. And a couple of blocks, if anybody listening or hearing this interview is familiar with the University of Havana, there's the thing called the Escalinata. And going straight down that, I think that street is called Neptuno. And going straight down Neptuno, like 4 or 5 blocks, I was walking around that part, and there was a band practicing.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was the Bocucos, and they were the band that Ibrahim Ferrer, before he blew up with the Buena Vista, they were actually that was his band. It was what was left over of his band.
Oh, shit.
And so I was walking around, and I hear this band practicing, and I got my trumpet. Everywhere I go, I'm just carrying the trumpet, and I like poke in, and I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? Let me hang. And then they're like, sure. So they let me hang. They pulled out some charts, and I'm like playing with this band. And for the whole 4 months that I was there, pretty much I was just kind of following these guys around. Ibrahim never showed up because he had already done the Buena Vista thing at that point, and he'd already moved on with his life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. That's fucking great, dude. Too bad you don't have video of that. Yeah.
You know what? I think I've probably got some of their albums, and I've got a few pictures with them. You want to see some pictures?
That's cool. You got some pictures of that from 2003? Yeah, dude. I don't know if you have some.
You want me to screen share? Oh no, you got
to. Yeah, I know.
I'll show you some other time.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy, man. Wow. Because when I went to Cuba, that's my biggest takeaway, man. Just the bands, that street where everyone is at. You have just nothing but the old timers playing, and it's just so fucking raw.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn. When my
Like
first
that one time in Echo Park where all the old timers and Freeze was on the floor and there was that dude standing on the bench and he got
yeah, yeah, just like that, just old timers playing fucking hardcore salsa song. Just it was just incredible, man. It was badass. It was just like it, just to go down that street. What's the main street in La Habana? The main street where all the tourists go to.
I think you're talking about Hamel or Calle Hamel. I think because
Yeah,
that's the Roomba. That's the little Roomba corner where they do
yeah,
old school like
right.
the Roomba, you know.
Yeah, on that street, there's just so much talent, so many bands, and it was just an incredible experience. And just the people, they're just so nice. Everyone's so cool. You
Yeah,
know?
I wonder if you're talking about Italia.
It was on the same street where Floreditas is at.
You know, I forget, man.
Floreditas is in the corner, at least the original one.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah. So, but that's incredible, man. That's one country that I would love to go back to. It was a beautiful country, beautiful
You've been
people.
once, right?
Hmm?
You've been once, right?
I've been there once. Yeah.
Man.
You've been there like 20. Who knows how many times you've been there?
Yeah, I lost track.
Yeah. It's what's your biggest takeaway from just Cuba in general? Just the people, or
You know what? The biggest takeaway. You know, because I'm actually still in contact with some friends, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. You know, I learned so much because I feel like if you're a student and you have the opportunity to travel abroad, because we're so impressionable in our, you know,
Mhm.
as we get older, we're kind of like, okay, I've made up my mind about this. You know, this is how I feel. This is my belief. Hopefully, we can always be open minded, but usually after some point, we've made up our mind. But as an impressionable kid, I was in my early 20s.
right?
You know, it was just kind of like seeing, because there was a lot of political stuff going on. There was an economic, you know, it was an interesting time economically, and then artistically, you know, and just seeing the strength and resilience of the Cuban people and the humility, man. The humility.
The humility, yeah, that's a good point. The humility, and it seems like a lot of the young people don't really give that much importance to the political world. They're just about living, and they're just, the humility is so great, man. You know,
I mean, the hustle is strong. The
hustle is yeah. Especially tourists.
Yeah,
strong. It's stronger than New York.
Yeah,
stronger.
But once, if there's an opportunity to break through that, and if you find yourself as a tourist on the other side of that, where people have given up the hustle and they're just like, they just want to share, and they're just human, and take economic, political thing out, and now we're just sharing music or vibe or food or the nature or whatever we're sharing on that moment, a joke or whatever.
Right
now, and we've gotten past the hustle, then just the humility, man. Just the humility.
Yeah, that's true.
The survival, dude. The survival. You know, seeing how people could just make it happen with whatever they have.
Yeah, it really it makes you kind of look at your life. And I know coming back, it made me look at all the things that I take for granted here. So, yeah.
Dude, I was at LAX, right? And there's a verb. The verb, like when you're putting stucco on a wall,
right?
Repellar, right? That verb,
right?
And when you're on a bus in Cuba, they use that verb because the people are on top of each other, right?
Right.
They're stuck to each other, like the stucco on the wall, like repellando, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so
La Guagua. It's not the bus. It's La Guagua.
In La Guagua. And so I go back to LAX, and I grazed somebody, not even with my body, and I didn't even touch her. I touched her bag with my bag, and it grazed her. It wasn't even like a. It was just kind of like a boom, like a little bump. She lost it. And I was like, I just came from a place where they have a verb that describes the way you're stuck to somebody on a bus, because that's how little room.
You're like this. Yeah, you're like this.
Literally on top of each other.
True.
Like, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, these people are so entitled, man. It's kind of, you know, but like you said, it's a perspective. It's like, wow, I'm so grateful. I wish everybody was a little bit more grateful, you know?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And not to, you know, and of course it has its dark history with violence and politics and all that. But like you said, you hit it right on the nail. If it ever comes a day where you separate the politics and so you separate the economic issues there and you look at just the people there, the people are really amazing people, you know, take away all that government shit. The people are great, you know. Yeah.
And I mean, because that government stuff, it's so controversial. You know, there's so much. The family that I actually really got hooked into when I went to Cuba, they were on both sides of it, man. They participated in campañas de alfabetización.
Mm-hmm.
They were teachers, so they went into the rural areas and worked on that literacy. That Cuba pride themselves on their literacy because they put so much stake into it. And then when the Soviet bloc fell, this family that I got hooked into, they lost everything, you know? And they went through that, they call it periodo especial, where Cuba all of a sudden was just flipped upside down economically because they lost their biggest trading partner, the Soviet bloc, right? And so I've seen both sides of it. I've seen people that left right when Fidel took office, and then they were on this side, and then their mom is in Havana dying, and they're blocked from going back to Havana, and they're like, I just want to go see my mom before she passes.
Yeah.
And then so people who hate the politics, but then people who gave everything to the politics, and so it's so complicated, man. It's easy for us to have an opinion or people, you know, to have an opinion, but then it's, as somebody who's just looking at it from the outside, almost like a spectator or as somebody who's learning about it, I just find it fascinating. And yeah, I mean, I feel for everybody. I feel for the people that are in it, that fought for it, and then I feel for the people that were persecuted by it. It's too complicated for me to understand, but
yeah, it's definitely a complicated issue, man. And hopefully one day it gets better. You know, who knows? You know, we'll see.
We just do our small part, right?
Exactly. That's all we can do, man. That's all we can do. But
you know, we break down as many borders as we can, and then we just do our part. You know.
Exactly. And just see what happens with that country, man. You know, I feel for the people, man. One day, hopefully, it gets better there. You know, Casa de la Música was amazing. Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
About.
Wow!
I was wondering if you were talking about on Italia, because there's a street called Italia, and there's one there, and there's another one in Miramar. There's two. Which one? Do you remember which one you went to?
I think it was
the one outside of Havana or the one in Havana.
In Havana.
I think that one's called Italia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Italia. I don't remember.
Who you saw? Who did you see?
God, it was. I have it recorded. I forgot the name of the band. It was a local band.
Oh, was it the matinee or was it the evening show? It
was a matinee.
Okay, because they usually have the smaller acts in the matinee.
Yeah, it was a smaller. And then we had a chance to see Los Van Van too.
What?
Yeah, they were there. They were playing, but the people we were with didn't want to go. Like, we could see them in the States. I'm like, what the hell? What's the whole point of seeing them in the States?
Dude. Okay, this is where. Okay, in music. Actually, you know what? Let me go back. Right, I said humility, but my biggest takeaway musically was the four, and let me explain what I mean. The four, right? In American music, we have the backbeat, like right, the backbeat.
Yeah, right.
In reggae, it's there, right, and definitely in funk and rock, like right. But in salsa, there's this thing. Well, there's this thing called bomba, which is on the end of two, like right, and right. So that's called bomba. But there's also this thing called the four, like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And that was my biggest takeaway, was the 4. And some of my friends are like, nah, bro, you're missing the whole point. It's that the and of 2, like cat, 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 cat,
Right.
like they're like, nah, that's the strong beat. And for some reason, for me, I've always fallen in love with what's called the 4. And this is when I felt it the most, right? I'm in La Plaza de la Revolucion in Havana.
Okay, been there. Okay.
And it's my like first or second night in Havana. So I was there during the fall semester.
Okay.
Right after summer.
Okay.
Right? So I'm there and summer's ending and they're having this humongous party. At the time, the hip hop group of the time was Los Cubanitos, and they were there, but Ban was there.
Oh.
And when they do these shows in La Plaza de la Revolucion in Havana, it's just like wall to wall people. It's just a big outdoor concert, huge outdoor concert, kind of like I don't know, dude, like Lollapalooza or something big, right?
Coachella, like
something big, right?
Right.
So I'm there. It's my first or second night there. I'm there with 32 American students from around, but there's also some Cuban students that are kind of like our tour guides or they're like our peer mentors in Havana to kind of show us the way, right?
Right.
I'm there, and I've never been in that kind of situation, that kind of concert, that kind of energy, that kind of music. Sandy had given me a CD to prepare me, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared.
Shit. Oh, shit. Okay.
So I just remember feeling the 4 for the first time, like feeling it in a deep, like cellular level, like all the way in my body, in my hips and my heart, like boom, my body.
Yeah.
And Juan Formel, the leader of Los Bambam, was still alive at the time, so he was playing the bass, and sorry for that background noise, but yeah.
I thought it was your trumpet.
Right? There's my phone over there. It just hit me, man. Just like boom, boom, the 4, dude. It just hit me, and ever since then, that's been my big takeaway is the 4. I just love something about like
really
4. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like wow. And that's where the music hits me, is on the 4.
Wow, dude, that's fucking incredible, dude.
Yeah, dude. Something about and they set it up. They'll set it up because Los Bamban has these long, epic 12-minute songs.
Yeah, yeah.
They set it up too. Like they'll be doing this long thing, like do this long horn solo or this long flute solo, right? And they'll be building up. They'll be building up, and all of a sudden they give you the 4. Like, here you go, a gift from God.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're just like building up, and it's like this big climax, like, oh, 4! Yeah. I don't think that's where the golfers got it, but it's definitely a thing.
That's not where the golfers got it. 4! What are some of the biggest events over there in Havana? I know there's one in Santiago, no?
It's funny, dude. Okay, so check this out. Another Bamban show was at this thing that they call La Tribuna Anti-Imperialista.
Ooh, okay.
So
wow.
On the Malecon, right near, there's another venue called La Piragua, which is right there on the Malecon, which is the boardwalk.
Yep, the boardwalk by the water, right.
So we're there, and it's a New Year's show, and Los Bamban is playing. And they set up the stage facing away from, but right up against the glass of the U.S.-American intersection. There's a big building in Havana where the U.S. has it's kind of like an embassy.
Okay.
But, there's a weird relationship between Guantanamo and Fidel, and the way the Cubans interact with the Americans. It's like they're there. But
it's kind of odd that we have a base. It's weird. I still don't understand that relationship.
Yeah, it's really strange. Like they've given us permission to be there. We're there, but the communication is just off, man. So because I remember as an American student, the people that were working in that building invited us. Because I was there during Thanksgiving, and I left just before Christmas to come back to the States. my 4 months was up, and I remember they invited us. The Americans invited us into that building.
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving, and a lot of us were like, you know what, we'd rather hang out with these new Cuban friends that we had. And some of the Americans were like, oh, I'm curious to know. And so they went to Thanksgiving dinner inside of that building.
Right.
And yeah, that was really interesting. But yeah, so but yeah, the Tribuna Anti-Imperialista. So that was a really big event. So they put up the stage on the outside of that building, basically up against the glass. The music is facing the Malecón, and Los Van Van is playing, and you see all these, flags, like the American flag is there, but they're like, they're like, Andy,
right. Oh man, dude. Oh man, I was there when the Rolling Stones played. Not when they played, but they were setting up the stage.
Dude, check this out, bro.
And they were painting the streets on one street because Obama was going to drive by it.
Check this out, bro.
We were there 2 or 3 weeks before Obama got there.
Check this out.
Oh, that's dope.
Look at, can you see it?
What? Oh, it's in La Habana. Oh, that is sick.
So this is
wow.
This is a poster from that concert that you just mentioned, dude.
Yeah, I was there. If we would have stayed there 2 weeks later, we would have seen the Rolling Stones. We would have been there at the same time Obama was there.
Dude, I have a DVD of that Rolling Stones concert, and there's people crying,
Really?
The Cubans are crying because supposedly the Stones showed up with 50 containers, like the container vessels, the big ones on the back of the truck, 50 of those. Donated their time, their theatrics, the staging, the lighting, they brought all of that stuff with them. Like it's like a full scale production that they have videography in the background. They had like this yeah, dude. It was, and people are crying. It was a big deal, man.
It was a huge deal.
And the Stones did it for free. People came from all over the island for this free concert.
Yeah. It was incredible to see that on TV, man. It was, I seen video of people crying, and it just was great. It was crazy because after that day, I'm like, okay, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. But it kind of, nothing really happened. Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of hoping. I was like, I hope that there would be better relations between the U.S. and Cuba, or something.
When I first went in 2003. I think it was Clinton.
Yeah.
And then it was Bush, and then it was Obama, and now it's Trump, right?
Yeah.
Is that the order? Clinton,
yeah.
Bush, Obama, Trump, right?
Right.
So my relationship with politics, it's almost through a lens of travel to Cuba,
right,
like border politics. It was interesting to go while Clinton was president because he was trying to loosen things up.
Right.
It was interesting to go while Bush was president because things got tightened back up. And then Obama just blew it open. He was
just open, yeah.
Man. Let's just loosen this up. And then Trump's like, nope. Shut it back up.
Shut it back down, yeah.
So, yeah, dude. It's an interesting beat.
Yeah, and I understand that, the whole history. It's a touchy subject, man, when you go back to the missile crisis and all that, and what Fidel did, what he didn't do. There's people that hate Fidel all over the world. There's people that love Fidel all over the world. So it's all very political, and it's just, I just hope that one day we can get to a place where we can work those things out. I mean, we have relations with China, and I'm still trying to understand myself because I don't understand the politics between countries, but I'm trying to understand. We're still in a relationship with China, but we don't have a relationship with Cuba. Aren't they almost the same as far as communism? I've been trying to. It's tough for me to understand. So maybe it's business. Maybe it's more than what I know. I'm a little ignorant when it comes to that.
Yeah, some of that stuff. I do as much as I can to understand and figure it out, but at some point, leave it to the experts.
Yeah, leave it to the experts. We're ignorant. We have no idea what the hell we're talking about. I just hope that one day it gets better for both parties. So, but awesome, dude. So freaking. So when was the last time you played at a freaking event, dude? It's been what?
You know what? At an actual live event.
Because you were playing salsa, but and then you got into a little ska too. You were part of a ska band as well.
Reggae music and ska music. Yeah, that's a really good question. Actual live event.
It's been a while since. Yeah. Are you still playing?
Even before the shutdown. I mean, I got a regular Friday night jam session I do with some friends.
Yeah.
But actual playing in public. What's funny? Oddly enough, is ever since La Fiebre fizzled.
Broke up, yeah.
And I've just been doing pickup work here and there on the trumpet. And I actually have more work out of state and out of Los Angeles than I do here in Los Angeles.
Really?
I have a band in Central Oregon. It was really nice, man. They would fly me out and I would play, and then they would fly me home. It was super nice. In Bend, Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah, we were doing a little salsa, but it was mostly like rock en español with some trumpet on top. So it was cool. And then I had a reggae band down in San Diego.
Okay.
And so those two acts were actually keeping me more busy than local people here in LA. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, that's fucking cool. That you actually Oregon.
Yeah,
there's a rock en español scene in Oregon, like in Bend, Oregon.
Group. It's actually one girl. She's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Half Puerto Rican and half Iranian.
Okay.
And her Spanish is solid. She studied in Cuba. She plays guitar, and she's a songwriter, and she's killing it, dude. She's got some great material.
Right.
And she put this band together, dude. 4 white guys, and she's the only Latina.
Right.
And
wow.
And the music's good. The music's good, and the scene, it's cool too, man. It's just a bunch of kids jumping around, and it's almost like a mosh pit,
Dope.
even when we play salsa, it's like people are just like jumping.
Get in the mosh pit.
Oh, salsa mosh pit. Yeah.
Salsa mosh pit.
Yeah, it's good. Mosh pit con clave.
Mosh pit con clave, dude. Oh my god, dude. So what have you been doing, man? What have you been doing now? Just what are the hobbies? Did you pick up anything since you're in quarantine and you're not teaching? What are you doing at the house?
I took a year of Krav Maga, so I've been teaching my girlfriend how to box.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so that's been fun. I took up cycling, so I got a road bike and a mountain bike.
Dope.
But yeah, the boxing, man. I'm kind of getting into fitness.
That's good, dude. That's good. That's all we can do. Get into fitness, learn something. Everyone that I'm talking to, they're either working out more or they're trying to learn something new that they haven't learned before. Now that they have all this time.
What about you, man? Your knees doing okay?
Knees are doing great. Yeah. I thought you said my nieces. My nieces are doing great. My knees are doing good too. How's Freeze doing, bro?
Right? No, I was making a reference to that, and I should have been more obvious in my reference. I was talking about the old Cuban guys, and I was mentioning that Echo Park Cuban Festival. And remember when Freeze was standing on the floor and there was a Cuban guy on the bench?
Yeah.
He tried to give Freeze a vacunao in his ear. He was like, "Hey, toma," and Freeze was like, "Oh, man." Dude. Yeah.
Have you talked to that cat lately?
I helped him move.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I helped him move. So, you were there. You were there an hour before me, and you left, and I did
I messed up my ankle, man.
Dude, I moved all his tools out of his garage
all of his tools. That's a lot of tools. Oh wow,
he got so many tools.
Oh my god.
Into his U-Haul, and then from that U-Haul into the house, and I was like, bro. Woo.
He's the only person I know that was at Studio 54 in New York. He's the only that shows you how old he is.
Okay, but
I think you have to be 60 years old.
Dude, I've got more wrinkles than that guy, and he's
yeah. And he looks freaking young, and he talks about man. Well, I was in Studio 54. It's like, what do you mean you were in Studio 54? You have to be like 60 years old to be at Studio 54.
So one time I was teaching a lesson to my kids about modern music and contemporary music, and I was like, who can I get to bring in to the classroom as an expert in hip hop, right? And I was like, you know what? Let me ask Freeze, because he's a DJ and
Boogie Down Bronx, yeah.
He's from New York, so
yeah, of course.
He wears it on his sleeve. I'm from the Bronx, man.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, hey, Freeze, can you want to come in and talk to my class about hip hop? And sure enough, he came in. He's talking about turntablism. We used to plug into a light pole, man. We would rip that light pole open, man. We would plug into there, and he would be spinning on the corner, man. And we would just be spitting, man. Yeah. And so I put on some beats. I had some instrumentals, right? And I battled him, man. I was like, Freeze, on your knees, begging, please, man. And my kids are like, oh, Thompson, oh. And then he gets up on the mic next, and he's actually talented, man. When it comes to freestyle, he beat me hands down.
He is, yeah. And he's really good.
I would start off every verse the same. Freeze, back on your knees, begging, please, right? And then I would try to come up with something witty.
Right.
And he'd just smack me down. He'd be like, bro, give me that mic.
He's really talented, man. I talked to him yesterday, and he was talking about, yeah, man, I got to go to the Bronx. I got to go. I'm still here. I got to go to the Bronx. I'm like, bro, you've been here for 25 years, man. You are a Californian now. I'm not a fucking Californian. I go, Freeze. Your license says California. Your license plate on your car says California. You pay your bills in California. You're a Californian. And he's
raising a Californian.
He's getting so upset. He's like, fuck that. It's about the Bronx. I go, bro, the Bronx is no longer the Bronx. It's gentrified. By the time you get back there, people are going to be wearing different colored Crocs. They're going to have beards, long mustaches. Everyone's going to be a hipster. And he was laughing because apparently it's starting to happen there, according to him. So it was hilarious.
Yeah, I love Freeze, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
It's good to see him, with his family. They're holding tight. The kid's doing well.
Yeah, dude. So what's the goal for the next year, bro? Just hang out, chill, relax.
I'd actually, we've talked about this, being in sales, because you're still in sales, right?
Yeah.
Just making a little extra cash. I'm actually in school trying to cash in and make a little extra cash. So yeah, just finish up this latest course and cash in on it, man. Make a little extra, and we're gearing up for another Corona lockdown online teaching. So that's going to happen in about a month. We're going to be back online teaching.
Yeah.
So yeah, just get as much as done as I can before then. And
how's the online teaching? How is that?
Actually, it's cool, man, because I get to work at my own pace.
Mm-hmm.
And then the kid that talks too much in the front row when we're actual teaching in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a button. I can just literally mute him. I can just boop and then mute. It's amazing. Because in real life, I just got to put up with it. But online, I'm just literally mute him.
I never really thought about that from a teacher's perspective, because in real life, you just got to deal with what a kid is saying and kind of be a little bit.
Yeah, I could literally just mute, and then if I got to really get through to the kid, I'll call and I'll just talk to the pops, and then it's just amazing to see, because I normally, when I interact with the class and the parent, it's after school. The parent comes in after school, before school, parent conferences, right? But if I'm literally in each child's house, because I have a camera. Right. I've got 20 cameras on my screen that are pointed into every single house with a microphone, so I can hear every single parent. You know what I mean? It's really crazy. But then the flip side is they can see my house, Right. And it's kind of crazy that they have a camera in my house too. So it's another level of intimacy, man. Dealing with parents, and for they could see into my house and I could see it. Of course, it's curated. I've got like the backdrop of the calendar, but
right.
But every once in a while, man, you'll hear a parent just come off the cuff and the whole class. Like I remember one time, accidentally the microphone was on. This parent let the kid have it, right? Just like, wah! And my whole class, all 20 faces, they all just, their eyes got big and their mouth just open. They were all kind of like, did that really just happen? And I was like, mute, abort. Oh, man.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. That's got to be happening so much.
Yeah. It's a trip, man. Yeah.
Online learning, dude. The adventures of online learning.
Yeah, man.
Awesome, brother. Well, dude, it was great talking to you, brother. I'm gonna conclude it with I love that calendar in the background, dude. I love the story of you freaking from the beginning, learning how to play the trumpet, going to Cuba, telling your story, man. And then we'll do another podcast one day about the Vampiro story. Maybe, maybe one day.
That'll be awesome, dude. Vampiros at the Conga room.
There we go. All right, brother.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon, brother. Peace, dude.
Have a good one.